On December 6th and 7th, I was selected to attend the Education Delivery Institute meeting in Baltimore, Maryland. The meeting was about closing achievement gaps or improving the achievement of our student subpopulations and how to use the delivery approach to accomplish that goal. So I'd like to provide you with the definition of delivery and an overview of what EDI, the Education Delivery Institute, is all about, and to share with you a couple of key points and activities from the meeting. Delivery is a systematic process through which public sector leaders can drive progress and deliver results. It started in England with Sir Michael Barber, who used it as the approach to achieve the results in the government sector, which was under Prime Minister Tony Blair. Delivery is based on asking and answering 5 questions. What are we trying to do? How are we going to do it? How will we know if we're on the right track? What will we do if we're not on the right track? And how can we help? There are several states that are EDI partners in the K-12 grade level, and there were representatives for all these states at the meeting. And on the EDI website, you can find information about the delivery efforts in each of those states. On day 1, we looked at lots of data, and we did a lot of self-assessment of our own strategies and looked at data to show us how those strategies are working. On day 2, we built on those discussions and moved towards action. And we started out by using this graphic. On the y-axis, you can see that it has to do with gap closure. And we examined each of the strategies that we're currently doing in our office and tried to assess what would be the likely impact of improving gap student test scores. And on the x-axis, that would have to do with the impact of each strategy on the goal of improving student achievement overall. And this is what it looked like. You can see in the uppermost right-hand quadrant that there is a strategy called Digital Learning Algebra 1 Blended Learning. And this is the Algebra 1 Blended Learning pilot project that our office is working on, and our team specifically. And we thought that it would have a high impact on closing gaps and a high impact on improving student achievement overall because of the potential to personalize learning for each student. Then we moved into some table discussions, and I joined the table of Massachusetts, where the topic was how to communicate delivery to the school districts and increase buy-in. So I was able to share some of what I've seen Dr. Holliday doing as he communicates with the school districts. And one of the highlights of the meeting was a visit from Dr. Lori Barron. She's a middle school principal in Georgia, and she has, at her school, helped to achieve some great improvements in gap closure. And it was really inspirational to hear her, because not only did she bring the data, but she brought the stories, and sometimes I think those stories are what really can inspire and motivate people. When she first came to her school, there were lots of discipline problems, but she started to focus a lot on instruction and improving instruction, and things got better, and now they've made so much progress that their gap students are achieving at the state average or very close to it. So it was really a highlight of the meeting to listen to Dr. Barron. This presentation was part of my 30-day plan. At the very end of the meeting, we were asked to create a 30, 60, 90-day plan of how we would use what we had discussed and learned at the meeting. And so my 30-day Plan, Do, Study Act was to create this presentation, which I'll share at a weekly branch meeting. My 60-day Plan, Do, Study Act was to develop a process for our blended learning teachers on using it to personalize for students. And my 90-day Plan, Do, Study Act is to write a plan for new strategies for using blended learning to close achievement gaps in other content areas. And I would conclude with a plus delta activity in which I would ask participants to write down on Post-it notes a few of the things that they learned or that they liked about this presentation, and then also deltas, which would be things that they still needed clarification on, that they didn't understand, or that they thought I could have improved upon.